Hey, Premier League fans, thank you for taking the time to join us. He's, of course, Matt, and I'm, of course, Jason, and we're doing weekly Premier League shows here on Between the Posts where we'll take all 10 games each and every single weekend and we'll break them down. It's been a while since we've been with you guys, coming off the World Cup. Obviously, the Premier League took a step back to the FL Cup, or FA Cup, and the EFL Cup, but we're back at it, Matt, and it feels damn good sitting back in here with you talking Premier League.
Yeah, it's exciting just to be back. I mean, it was the World Cup was so fun, and here we go again, man. It's like it's such a weird year for soccer, but it's fun, man. It just never stops, which is so great.
Which is really great. I don't know where you spent your World Cup final, but I was in a casino here just outside of Chicago, so I was in the sports book part of the casino. Great atmosphere, people pulling out the Messi chants. Everybody knows the score and how dramatic it was there that second half and extra time. Just a phenomenal final to end that World Cup.
I mean, that was the greatest match ever.
Yeah.
I think in any sport, really. I mean, just in terms of the magnitude of it, combined with just that finale was
And then
ridiculous.
the stars showed up, right? Messi getting the brace, Mbappe there on the hat trick. Just everything you could have wanted there as a soccer fan was in that match. Now we do turn our attention here to the Premier League. Again, it's match week number 20. We're going to preview 11 games because we've got a little makeup game here tomorrow between Fulham and Chelsea. And then we'll get into the normal 10 matches there on the weekend where we get two derbies. We get the Manchester Derby and we also get the North London Derby. So let's jump on into it, Matt. Let's get your opening thoughts here on tomorrow's game between Fulham taking on Chelsea.
Seventh place Fulham versus 10th place Chelsea.
Right?
Chelsea are in a dark place right now. I mean, they won this fixture both home and away last season, but um, this is a little different. Um, or maybe it wasn't even last year. Maybe it was two
Two
seasons
seasons
ago.
ago, right? Well,
Seasons ago. But I don't know. I mean, Chelsea looks so bad. Jason, what do you? Now Pulisic is injured. They bring in João Felix, but he probably won't be ready to go here. I would imagine. Maybe he plays 20 minutes off the bench. Um, you know, Fulham, an over team's dream, really. They've been scoring goals left and right for the most part, but their defense. I mean, when you look at Tim Ream, the beauty from the
mm-hmm.
USA. I mean, the dude's in the form of his life at 35, just gets another contract extension. Played unbelievable at the World Cup and has continued just to carry on right now.
Yep.
Um, I could only be looking one way here. It'd be like towards Fulham in the double chance market or something, like finding a way to get with them. I know that they like to have goals. I think that you might have a play on this one. But yeah, I don't want to. I can tell you this: I would not want to be anywhere near Chelsea right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to. It is a little doom and gloom on Chelsea right now, but I actually want to maybe paint a little bit of positive on Chelsea because pre World Cup, they had losses to Newcastle, they had losses to City and Arsenal. A lot of those clubs are going to beat them. Now you expect Chelsea with their pedigree, and their history to maybe knock off maybe a Newcastle and Arsenal, but that's who they lost to pre-World Cup. After the World Cup, they suffered two losses to Manchester City again. They had that ugly draw against Nottingham, and then they were able to beat Bournemouth. So if you look at that, those are a ton of losses, but they're against the top echelon of the Premier League. So I think maybe this is a chance for maybe Chelsea to get back on some solid ground here. But it's not going to be easy. You mentioned Fulham since the World Cup; they're 4-0 and they've only conceded one goal in those four matches. But I want to get back to it. I do have a play for this match. We've talked about Fulham. You mentioned maybe goals. Look, they average 3.2 goals in all of their games. That's sixth most in the league. They're fifth most in the league at home at 3.3 goals. Over 2.5 goals is cashed in 15 of their 18 fixtures so far. In 8 of their 9 home games, over 2.5 goals is had. While Chelsea has maybe won the last 3 of the last 4 recent head-to-heads, win to nil. This one won't be win to nil. This is a Fulham team that goes up and down from the Premier League, but they're not going down this season. They'll be right back remaining in the Premier League next season. Chelsea, you mentioned they're splashing the cash. They're bringing in the players. João Felix, yeah, certainly not going to feature in this one. I just see goals, and I don't want to pick a winner. I'm with you. If I'm picking a winner, I'm certainly going to be backing Fulham and, their home form, just the current run of form, and pinning that up against Chelsea. But just give me goals. That's what I see, and I don't care about a winner. So that both teams are scoring over 2.5 market, at plus money, I think looks too good to stay away from.
Yeah, I think just to continue to comment, and I think that it's kind of fun. That's why one of the reasons I love doing the show with you too, Jason, just to be able to while we're talking to be able to look up some things as well as we go, because there really isn't a rush, I don't think, and especially with this market, it's going to be pretty steady. But you look at every single time this season that Fulham has stepped up in class. Okay, starting off with match day one, all the way back to the 2-2 draw when they completely outplayed Liverpool. I remember that one.
Hmm.
They lose 2-1 to Arsenal. They lose 2-1 to Spurs. They they lose 2-1 to Man City. They lose 2-1 to United. So every time they've stepped up, for the most part, they have gotten beat by what you would consider a quote unquote top six side. Um, some of those top six sides are they were in a little bit better way than what this Chelsea is right now, I would say.
Right.
But that makes me want to kind of disregard what I was saying earlier in a sense of maybe double chance Fulham, because it is kind of juicy too. It's like I don't really want to go laying like minus 150 on a double chance. If I had to, I would, but I'm not really forced to here, which is great. We
Hmm.
have the ability to do whatever we want. And I think that I'd be with you, Jason. I think that maybe just a flat over 2.5 here. Don't complicate it at minus 120. Or if you look at all of those matches against the top six sides, they all had what you just kind of said. Both teams to score, and the over 2.5 came in,
That's
and
exactly
every single one of them
that's
is coming.
exactly what I was going to say as you were rifling those off. Is the bet I gave out has cash, and it's cashed in 15 of 18 games, so it's hard to. We're only going to find three where it hasn't. I'm going right to it. I know I'm not interested in a winner because Chelsea could step up at any moment. But Fulham at home is going to get a goal at least. I'm scared that Chelsea could come out of their form, their rut that they're in. So, yeah, just give me goals. Just give me both teams scoring over 2.5. The hit rate is way too high to stay off of that one in this fixture, and especially with Fulham being at home here.
Yeah, and Chelsea need to get going too. I mean, so
Yeah.
like they need we need to see a Chelsea reaction here.
Right, right. Yeah, like I said, they've run into some tough competition. This is a good spot for them to kind of get back at it. So, all right, let's turn our attention now to the weekend fixtures. It starts Friday afternoon. We get a little Friday football here. It's Aston Villa taking on Leeds. I don't know how you see this one, but if I see this one, it's Leeds. I kind of have to see goals. I cashed over 2.5 in both teams to score against Cardiff there in the EFL Cup with Leeds' last matches. Matt, I got a thing for you here. Leeds is averaging the fifth most goals at 3.3. It's 3.4 on the road, so a little bit of a tick up. Over 2.5 in their matches, has cashed in 11 of 17. Matt, but if you like over 2.5, you've got to throw on both teams to score because in those 11 cashes where over 2.5 hit, 10 times both teams to score came along for that over 2.5 ride. So if you see goals, I think you better go ahead and throw on the both teams to score and over 2.5 in this one. Not saying
This
you
one is
do, I'm just throwing it out there.
yeah, no, I think that this one's tricky. I think I've been watching actually a lot of Leeds matches recently. I was on some live stuff over the weekend. It was awesome.
Okay.
They were down 2-0. I wake up at like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, Leeds are down 2-0 to Cardiff on the road. And I'm like, let's gamble. Like, let's wake up. First thing, we're going to gamble here. We're going to take Leeds to be the next team to score. And they did. And then, you could feel the momentum swinging immediately after the goal. It's like, all right, I'm going to do it again here. Leeds score the next one. They both came in. It was a great start I believe it was Saturday. Maybe no, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. And but I have some concerns after I've watched Leeds a decent amount, like since the restart, and their defense is so bad. It is so bad, and I think that there is a slight managerial edge here with Unai Emery over Jesse Marsh. I think that Marsh is good, but I think that Emery is a little bit, he has a little bit higher pedigree, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, Leeds have only won 2 of their last 16 in all comps. The last 3 matches for Leeds have been a draw. And I could maybe see a draw here, but like I would only be looking towards Villa. It's Villa or pass here for me. It looks like Villa are taking some money as well. I was looking at this line last night when we were talking about doing a show. I think that Leeds were around like the plus 280s. Now you're seeing Leeds at the plus 310s. Villa are taking some money here, and I don't disagree with it. I think that Villa find a way here at home to get the job done, and they get all 3 points. I cannot be backing this Leeds defense in any way, shape, or form. So I can also see, though, if you say, okay, I like Leeds attack still, I think that they can go and get after Villa. I don't disagree with you. So maybe you pivot to a Villa team total over
Hmm.
1.5. That one makes a ton of sense. Like that, it could potentially be banker material on that.
What is that? What are we getting on that? Do you have that on an
It's
over
going
one
to be
and a
a,
half
it's gonna be
team
a plus
total?
price here.
Plus price
No,
there
it's
too.
minus 120 at DK actually. I mean, I bet if you shop around, you should be able to find at least a flat 10.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Villa, their games in 18 matches, they've seen 9 over 2.5 cashes. So you're talking 50-50. And to me, Leeds is just that perfect opponent to, if anybody's like around a 50-50, to go ahead and get you into that over 2.5. The both teams to score. I'm with you. I would say Unai Emery is significantly better than Jesse Marsh. But yeah, I will back Leeds to win the match, get the points, but I'm going to probably stick to with the both teams to score in over 2.5. Just give me what's been hit in Leeds matches.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we got a big one right here. It involves Manchester City, who's in a fight right now for Southampton. If they want to go ahead and win the quad this season and get those 4 trophies, they're going to need a second half comeback against Southampton. They've yet to throw on De Bruyne and Holland here at halftime. They're now in the 55th minute, and they're still down 2-0. They throw on Ake and Akanji. Those are the 2 attackers you need when you're down 2-0. Guardiola said, okay, now, and just updated, okay, De Bruyne came in for Palmer. So, all right, well, we got the Manchester Derby, the Blues versus the Reds going on. I listened to Guardiola's press conference yesterday. He said he's got something up his sleeve. He said he might try something new, Matt. Last time he tried something new, I remember way back. Remember when he played with the false 9 and De Bruyne was kind of like that striker in the false 9? If you do that, like, where's Holland going? Holland's not being pushed out wide in any false 9 system or anything like that. He needs to be central to do what he does. Could you play with 2 strikers? Could you do with an Alvarez and a Holland maybe on the pitch at the same time? Or maybe is that just good old manager talk and maybe just trying to give Ten Hag maybe something extra to think of? I don't know, but form certainly favors United. They're second in the last 5. They're right up there in the top of the Premier League. They're catching up steam. Obviously, a big 4 match with top 4 on the line there for United and a title race there for Manchester City. City's won the last 3 head-to-heads. The reverse fixture was 6-3 back in October. 6 of the last 8, though, have seen both teams to score no has cashed in 6 of the last 8. Both teams to score no. What are we looking for here in the Manchester Derby?
Completely like the Guardiola comments, it makes you just kind of just want to pause on it really in general and just wait to see lineups. I mean, I think I would have to dissect some lineups here. I think that you might be pointing though towards the right direction. Maybe you could see not De Bruyne, I mean, kind of in a false 9, but maybe just play him in the 10 and play with 2 strikers, Alvarez on the left like he played for Argentina, and then play Holland on the right. Like that would be interesting to see how that would shake out. If he did opt with that, I would probably suggest goals.
Yeah, sure.
Because United are on fire too. Like their front 3 and Rashford is just, like I wouldn't talk anyone off of taking Marcus Rashford anytime goal scorer in this matchup. You're gonna get a good price because you're facing Man City. Scored in 6 straight matches. The boy is on fire. Other than that, really not a ton to add. Like I think that City will, try to make this a grind, like they normally do, like with the 1-0 against Chelsea. Really not a match that I'm overly interested in getting involved in. I'd probably look in terms of just like your, flats to, sides and totals. I mean, I'd look towards maybe that Chelsea blueprint saying like, look, I think this could be like a 1-0, 1-1, stays unders.
I got 2 things for you. One, you mentioned Rashford and you mentioned live betting. When they were playing Charlton the other day, there in the EFL Cup, it was like the 70th minute. Ten Hag threw on Eriksen and Rashford. I was like, okay, I'm going to bet Manchester United to be the next goal scorer. I thought it was going to go 1-0, but once he decided to actually put on Rashford and Eriksen, obviously that was an easy cash. Do you want to take a stab? Just throw out a number on what Rashford anytime goal scorer is. And this is just going to be at Barstool, so not price shopping, but just throw out a number.
I mean, it's going to be around like a little bit bigger than 2-1.
Yeah, how about 350? That is absurd. With
Yeah,
his
see,
current, he is smoking hot right now.
Yeah, I would have said 220, 250, something like that.
350. Holland's minus 112. You mentioned maybe Guardiola, maybe 1-0, dragging this out. Here's a hot stat for you, Matt, here in this fixture. There's been a goal scored in the first 10 minutes in the last 4 head-to-heads. So if you're interested in that, it's plus 300. If you think they can reproduce another hot start and get a 3-1 cash on your money.
Yeah, it's just two different. Now this is like a different manager. Is this the first time that Ten Hag and
No, they were.
Gordon?
He was that 6-3 thumping at the Etihad in October.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that was super early in his tenure though too.
Right, and they're on fire. They're keeping clean sheets. They haven't played
Yeah,
the greatest of all competition, to be fair, and obviously this is the ultimate step up in competition. City's going to be royally pissed. I mean, coming off a loss, they've got great records. They're likely going to come off a draw. I mean, 60-minute mark, and it's still 2-0 here against Southampton. So they're probably going to come in off a loss, out of a competition. Yeah,
draw looks kind of big here.
draw.
3-1.
City's dominating this head to head. Like I said, they won the last three. I hear you.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with this pass.
Yeah, I'm
Pass.
not
I
betting
really
it.
I don't like it, and I don't. The fact that Rashford is that big, like I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to degen bet this one.
I'm going to DJ in a same game parlay just because it's my squad. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do not have a bet to give out to anybody on this one. Sit back, watch it. Hope for United can get the 3 points, but City scares the little crap out of me like they always do.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm a little nervous going on against City. How are you feeling going against Brighton, which is our next one? We got Brighton taking on Liverpool. Obviously, no Virgil van Dijk. Brighton's got no injury concerns. The recent head-to-head, Matt, and I already shared a bet with you. You know what I'm on this. The recent head-to-head has 1 Liverpool win, 3 draws, and a Brighton win. This is a team that is absolutely hung with Liverpool in those recent head-to-heads. Liverpool's form is really bad. Super fortunate against Leicester, 2 own goals, and we were going back and forth, messaging there in that match. They just looked absolutely terrible. Against Wolves, they looked absolutely terrible. I mean, phenomenal goal there to end that first half, but they were just god awful in that entire first half. Brentford on the road, they didn't look all that great, and losing 3-1 to Brentford. This is a great spot for Brighton. I like them on the double chance.
I like goals in this one a lot. If you look at just both squads, take their last 4 or 5 matches. You look at that sample basically post restart. Brighton FA Cup, whatever, 5-1 against Middlesbrough. EPL 4-1 against Everton, 4-2 loss to Arsenal, where they could have scored a few more. Brighton against Southampton, 3-1. So you're talking about goals on that Brighton side, and then on the flip side, you're looking at 2-2 Liverpool Wolves in the FA Cup. They lose 3-1 to Brentford, 2-1 to Leicester, 3-1 to Villa, 3-2 to Man City. Like, they all stack up here, Jason. They're all stacking up. No Van Dijk. The defense is shaky right now. This is a goals line. This is an over 3, flat 3, -110. I'm in on it.
But you're in on that. So you see goals. This one, we sit here a lot of the time. I'm not trying to pick a winner or a draw or anything. But this one being at the Amex Stadium, I am trying to back a side on this one, and it's Brighton. I'm trying to get behind Brighton.
I don't want to be backing Liverpool. I'll say that right now. Like, I don't want to be with Liverpool in any way. But I think that both of these offenses are good offenses to bet on. And they're both defenses that can still get got at. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so this is kind of a slam dunk, Jason. I think over 3, a flat 3, -110. It will not last there. This will close over 3 at like -140.
And that's where you get the push, right? Because at the Asian, so
Yeah.
3 goals is a push.
Yep.
And that bet, not saying the best price, but you're seeing it -110. Was it DraftKings still?
DraftKings right now, I haven't been line shopping it. I mean, you
Right.
might be able to catch a flat, like, no vig.
You know what? I'm just going to look on Bet Rivers. Obviously we all price shop. I always feel like Bet Rivers / Barstools always comes in with some of the best lines. Let's look at this Asian over 3 -107. They're always a tick better. They're at -107.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. I can get behind goals. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool gets one. I like Brighton to get the points, some amount of points from this fixture. But yeah, I can also get behind goals. All right, let's move on here now to the relegation battle. Everton versus Southampton. I generally don't bet relegation battles. I remember Wolves played Nottingham Forest like a couple weeks ago or maybe 10 days ago. I wanted no part of that. But now I'm sitting here watching that whole first half against City. Southampton's finally going to get some belief. This is, as long as City doesn't come back and give them the dagger of pushing this thing in extra time and maybe winning it in extra time. If they can hold on here 2-0, 2-1, they've got full belief against Everton, and Everton side, the Lampard side, that is just full on struggling. I don't care where they play. Goodison Park, somewhere else. they're just struggling. So the one thing, Matt, is maybe we'll see a winner because there's been no draws in the last 5 head-to-heads, and there's been no draws in 9 of the last 10 head-to-heads. So somebody's likely to walk away here with 3 points. Based on this performance here for Southampton against City and the belief, I'd rather back Southampton on the road here. And that's scary to think because they've been god-awful.
These defenses are both just terrible. And like I think that this is another look. Like I don't want to pick either side in this. Like I think that both of these teams aren't really fun to bet on. I don't like either of the managers really, but if you look at the numbers and the recent forms of these teams, it screams goals. It does. Like both of these teams are conceding a lot. They're contributing to the score sheet. This is probably a BTTS yes and over 2.5 and don't care who wins.
See, I saw that, but neither side averages more than 1 goal scored per match. I mean, you look at their total tally, and then if you look at it home and away, it's like a tick less. So it'd be like, 0.8 something or 0.9 something. Neither one even averages 1 goal scored per match.
But how many do they average in terms of like conceding?
Right.
You know?
That's the, but can the but can these two teams take advantage because they're so damn poor? you know.
I think that they will have. God, yeah, it's one of those where it's starting to already get to that state. It's still a little early, I guess, to be getting like nervous about being towards the bottom. There's still a lot of time left. We're not even halfway through yet, so
Right, that's fair.
yeah, you would like to like if this match, let's say, was 2 months from now, and these two teams were still in the same position. I would be more concerned about a goals bet because I would be worried that the managers would really be trying to scrap and claw for any little thing, and trying to grab a point
Hmm.
and play a low scoring tight, but I can see some fluidity here and the attacks on both of these sides, and they're just conceding too much. So, um, yeah, just slight lean towards goals.
What about a lean towards cards just because of the nature of the relegation? I'm not betting this match. I'm just asking. What about anything from cards? The Premier League just doesn't have. It's not a good league to bet cards. The Premier League. It's not a good league.
Yeah, not nearly as fun as like Italy and
Or Portugal
Italy,
for the
Italy,
Portuguese.
Portugal.
Obviously, La Liga. It's like hell, I can bet on red cards in that league. Skip the
Yeah,
yellows, go right to reds in La Liga.
straight to the red card market. So yeah, I don't really want to get involved too much in this game, but just something tells me that I just both these defenses are get they're worth like trying to attack probably.
Yeah, they can definitely get at it. All right, let's move it along now to Nottingham taking on Leicester, where I think confidence-wise, we got two clubs moving in the wrong direction. Leicester, they've lost their last 3 matches. Nottingham, they're coming in. They beat Southampton, team we just talked about. They got a draw against Chelsea, and they've got points in 4 of their last 5 games. So two teams definitely moving in the wrong direction. Nottingham has scored 13 goals on the season, but 11 of those have come at home. Leicester, they've conceded 31 goals, but 21 of those goals where they've been able to concede have been on the road. This is one where I see goals because it's at Nottingham and kind of the numbers I just threw out there. Whether it's a both teams to score or maybe a both teams to score and over 2.5, I like goals in this one, Matt.
I like goals here too. I think that goals is kind of the theme of this week. It's been really if you've been looking at the numbers just kind of post World Cup, like there have been a lot of goals coming in. So like it's been a good bet recently. I mean, there's been these teams are fresh post World Cup. They're sharp, and I think that some of the market maybe hasn't like caught up to that yet. But yeah, I think that you're spot on here. It's hard to split the teams in terms of who gets this one. I would probably lean with Forest, but I think that yeah, I think that like for example, when you look at the shading of it, how like under 2.5 is shaded to the -120 and the overs is -105. Like I would disagree with that. I think that that's incorrectly shaded.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Forest is in action right now against Wolves. Does that mean anything? I'd have to go look at their lineup. I did not see what lineup they put out. A
I'll
team
look
that's in the
there.
relegation, if they go down to championship, it's probably generally to be expected that they go right back down to the championship. But maybe I look at their lineup, but it doesn't matter. This game is played. Is it Saturday or Sunday? If it's Sunday, definitely no bearing. It's okay. It's
It
Saturday at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock where you live. So
looks like they've rotated a little bit for sure, but it's not a full rotation. today.
And they're hanging with Wolves. I mean, it's 1-1 in the 81st minute, so another thing where maybe they can come in with some belief if they can get to a semifinal. If this club can come into this match on the heels of making a semifinal in the EFL Cup, give me goals. Just give me goals.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. What's that?
I like it. I like it.
All right, let's move on to another relegation battle. Wolves and West Ham. Do you think you were going to be saying that in August, that in January, a relegation battle between Wolves and West Ham? Well, the reason you're saying it is because these two clubs, their games are only averaging 2.2 and 2.1 goals per match. Home and away, it's about the same. It's 2.1 and 2 respective home and away. Some fascinating stats here for you, Matt. Under 2.5 has cashed in 3 of the last head-to-head. All of those have been both teams to score. The last 11 head-to-heads have seen a winner, so no draws in 11 head-to-heads, but 10 of those 11 have seen both teams to score no. This could be a market where you don't care who wins. Maybe if both teams have scored no. They just let whoever gets the lead do what they've done 10, the last 11 head-to-heads is they just hold on and do it. They just hold on.
Yeah, this is a freaking tough one. This is such a tough match because when you look at the 11s, how I would think that they would be stacked up, I would look towards West Ham because I think that they just have a little bit better goal scorers. But Wolves, their front three isn't that bad. I mean, it's decent. I just don't like Raul Jimenez. I think that he's way past it. And I like some of the other more forward players on West Ham, like Bowen and those guys. I think they're a little bit better.
I like them, but again, their games are averaging 2.2 and 2.1. These guys, Skamaka, Antonio, Bowen, they're not contributing a damn thing. Their games are averaging 2.1 goals. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also the point of they suck on the road. They've only
Right.
won one of 10. So it's like, how can I trust this team how can I trust this team in the draw no bet market, for example, to get over the line here and actually get me my money instead of like either pushing or losing. Like, it's just, this match is really, really tough. This is an in-play look, though. I think that you could definitely find an edge. One team will be slightly better, but pre-match, I don't know who it's going to be, Jason. This one's really tough.
This is the one maybe stat I'll come give you that maybe why I like West Ham. I'm maybe a little surprised why you weren't on West Ham. I don't know. Thought maybe you were going to be on West Ham for some reason. You think teams are better at home, right? They play better. They've got the home crowd. This one will be at the Molineux. Wolves are the only team in the Premier League. They clearly show zero fight at home. They're the only team with no goals scored after 60 minutes. Only team. They got no fight at home. Only team. When we get to 60 minutes, you either bet on West Ham. You can go. You know what I would do? You bet on West Ham to be the next goal scorer, and you do that two-way line where if there's no goal, it's a void, and you get your money back. Because Wolves got no fight at home, no goals.
I don't disagree. That's why I can't. That's why I would lean West Ham slightly because I think they have more firepower. But it is so slight, and I can't back Wolves because their XG numbers. If you look at they don't create good chances. So it's just like I don't want to back that. So just complete pass.
Another game. I didn't bet. I don't have it bet, but I'm gonna be watching that one, and maybe looking at that. Like I said, who to score next after the 60-minute. It's staggering to see that a home squad hasn't had any goals after the 60-minute mark in league play. Where obviously they've got a goal today, but that was on the road at Forest. That's not at home, where, again, you would think the crowd pushes you. That's why you love watching Leeds, and you could sit there and hammer an over in the 70th minute, in the 75th minute. Just keep hammering an over in a Leeds match. Wolves, they got no fight at home. Remarkable when I saw that stat doing this research, gearing up for the show.
The match ends in a draw, I'm going to call it.
Draw, that would go against the head-to-head, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, the last 11 have seen a winner, which is staggering. The last 11. What was both teams to score no? Because like I said, 10 of the last 11 have seen both teams to score no. That's minus 130. Yeah, I think whoever gets a goal just grinds out to a boring 1-0, 2-0 win like this head-to-head is seen. Two teams just struggling. It's a relegation battle per se. I mean, you said it. We're not even quite at the halfway mark, but
I would agree with. I mean, again, this is like what I was saying in the last one. I think it's the incorrect shading.
Mm-hmm.
is that both teams to score yes is shaded towards minus 120 when I think that no should be minus 120.
Mm-hmm.
No is minus 105. You can probably find plus 100 somewhere.
We got 15 minutes left at St. Mary's, and they're still holding on to this 2-0. Obviously, you stopped watching the entire second half to do this with you, but just remarkable. They're keeping City on a clean sheet. They're keeping City on, and they do have Holland, do have De Bruyne back, or they've thrown them on. So wow, just quite remarkable. All right, let's move on now here to Brentford taking on Bournemouth. I got a lot of things to talk. This game here, for some reason, I was doing the research like a lot. Just made the note sheet right here. Brentford's won 3 of the last 5 head-to-heads. The last 5 head-to-heads have seen under 2.5, cashed 3 of those last 5. Brentford at home have scored 2+ in 3 straight head-to-heads. 18 of Brentford's 30 goals have come at home. 29 of the 39 goals that Bournemouth has conceded has been on the road. And both of these two teams are averaging 3.2 goals per match, with Bournemouth on the road getting quite the uptick at 4.2. So, the stats would say lean Brentford. Brentford at home, I'm okay with that. They're at home. They're the better squad overall. It would make me think that maybe I had a little tough with this one. Maybe like a over 1.5 team total for Brentford, or like a Brentford money line and under 4.5. What do you think here, Matt?
Yeah, so that's where I would be looking. This the first time I looked at the card a couple days ago. This is the only one that initially stuck out to me. I was just saying, look at this away record for Bournemouth. I mean, they've played some decent teams though, so you kind of have to throw some of this out. But they lose 3-0 to United, 2-0 to Chelsea, 1-0 to Newcastle, 4-3 to Leeds, 2-0 to West Ham. That's their last 5 on the road. And Brentford are a good home side.
Yes.
So the first thing in my mind was, okay, don't complicate this one and just rip Brentford money line minus 150.
I thought it was worth maybe tacking on under 4.5, but yeah, I mean maybe at minus 150 you just take it.
I know.
But then I like Brentford I think team total at minus 134. They're going to score 2 goals likely.
Exactly. So you have to just that's where sometimes I struggle with the flipping of, okay, do I go Brentford and over 1.5 or do I go Brentford and under 4.5?
Right.
Or do I just say screw it? And I think that Brentford win this match and I don't care how it gets done.
And you don't care.
That's where I would go here right now because I don't know. I think that Bournemouth had some good tactics. Wow, Southampton get a third.
Oh, really? Wow, jeez.
Yeah, I think that's
City no quad for City. That's fine. He wants Champions League in the league anyways. He doesn't want the EFL Cup. Although he's been staggering. He's won 5 of the last 6 or something of these things. They've had great success in this EFL Cup.
I don't know. Maybe it was offsides.
Oh, Flash Score didn't pop it up. Yeah, the red dot was flashing on Flash Score, but it didn't pop in.
So maybe it was an offside. But yeah, I think it's just Brentford. I don't know what other way to put it. But Bournemouth are a good team to pick on. Bournemouth did well in the reverse fixture, just keeping this one tight 0-0. They'll try to do the same here.
One other stat that may give Brentford backers a little bit more confidence, and hell, I think I will be a Brentford backer by the time the bets come out, is Bournemouth is last in the league in shots taken. And not only are they last in the league at shots taken, they're 40 behind Brentford, which is way off Brentford, and they're 34th behind 19th place. So they're not just barely in 20th place in shots taken. No, they are way down in the league in shots taken, and that includes the 3-point field goals that go way over the post. We're not talking on target. We're talking just can you rip a shot? And they're significantly off the pace in terms of every team in the Premier League of just pulling the trigger from anywhere. So, yeah. Brentford, team total, Brentford money line. I think you got to get behind one of those two boys, one of those two bets. All right, this one, I think we need to talk about it. Is Chelsea and Crystal Palace, but personally I need to see what reaction Chelsea has against Fulham. So because of that, I really didn't dig into this one too much. You would think Chelsea at home, okay, probably better than Palace, probably a low-scoring match, but I need to see what they do against Fulham first. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same camp. Definitely I'm going to watch that Chelsea-Fulham match for sure. And I would say at first glance here, I would take the Asian handicap line on Palace.
Oh, okay. All right. But that's more of a play of Chelsea's poor form. But then if they come out against Fulham and do a 3-1 job, then you probably back off of that, I would assume, right?
Yeah. But I would say, like, for example, the +1
Hmm.
at -150 or +3/4 at -110.
Okay.
Those are the way that I'd be looking right now. I'd be looking to fade this team for as long as we can.
Right. All right. Here's another one here for you. It's Newcastle and Fulham, and this one I don't have the same reservations as I do as like wanting to see Chelsea against Fulham. I know what I'm going to get Fulham against the road. I know what I'm getting against Newcastle, an absolutely stud in the Premier League. It's Matt. I come to you for this one. Am I doing Newcastle money line in over 1.5, or am I doing Newcastle money line in under 4.5? They're going to beat Fulham. They're beating Fulham at St. James Park. They're getting it done. They're clicking or just running off results. They beat up against Leicester again now for the second time this season. Last time out in it was an FA Cup or EFL Cup, one of these two.
Yeah, I watched it. They look really good.
Yeah, they're
They look
beating
they
Fulham.
look.
They're beating Fulham. It's just a matter of how can I bring down the juice. Am I doing the over or the under?
You're doing both teams to score and Newcastle to win at a
Ooh,
big price.
ooh.
I don't know why it's not pulling it up for me, but that's where I would go. I still think that Fulham can score on them.
Even though it's on the road, I should be able to get that price relatively quick. Let's see, and both teams to
Yeah,
score
should be probably a
plus
plus
two
250.
35.
Yeah, yeah, not bad.
How
I think that
many?
Newcastle wins the match, but I do think that they could definitely concede.
They, man, man, Newcastle. They're just 1-0 against Chelsea, 3-0 against Leicester, 0-0 against Leeds, 0-0 against Arsenal. They're not a big conceding. I don't know if with this one not being at Fulham and rather being at St. James Park, I don't know if Fulham can do it. They're going to be tired. They're going to have to play a Thursday match against Chelsea, have a quick turnaround on Sunday for that kind of club. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, either way, we both like Newcastle getting a job done, and that's what our viewers sometimes want. Is the match going over, going under, or who the hell is going to win? We both like Newcastle getting the 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, okay, all right, let's turn our attention to the last fixture. It's the North London derby between Tottenham and Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal's super flying high. Tottenham finally broke the dreaded streak that they were on of conceding 10 straight. So now it's 10 of the last 11. They finally got off that of conceding first. I tell you what, if that stat comes back into play, though, and they concede first against Arsenal, I think Arsenal's got the defense to then hold on and get 3 points. Not necessarily saying they'll keep a clean sheet, but I think then that can keep Spurs off of them, keep the home crowd down. If they concede first, I think Spurs are in real trouble here.
I do too. But luckily for them, this match is at home.
Yeah.
So that'll give them a little bit of a boost. I would say in this one, I don't really want to go towards the winner's market and just take goals. I think both teams to score in over 2.5 is worthy.
I think so too. The last 6 head-to-head have seen no draws, so we've seen a winner in the last 6 head-to-heads. Over 2.5 in those last 6 have cashed in all but one. So the point of view liking over 2.5. Arsenal's actually won 3 of the last 4 head-to-head. And I think that's before they've had this obviously phenomenal season, before they brought in some great summer transfers that they've done. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good way in.
I like the reason you like goals is kind of why I like goals is these two teams are 3rd and 4th in the Premier League in shots taken. So these guys are pulling the trigger, and with the quality on the pitch, 3 of those are probably going to find the back of the net and cash over 2.5 at -122.
Yeah, both teams they can score in possession. Both teams very lethal on the counter too. So there's just so many different options on how to find the back of the net.
I think this one could set up well with maybe how Spurs prefer to play on the counter, and maybe that's a little bit of their strength, is give Arsenal the ball. Well, that's great because Arsenal wants the ball. They're phenomenal. And then Spurs can hit them on the counter, which is more of their strength. So I think both of these two teams this match could potentially play in the hand of both of them playing into their strength.
Totally agree.
All right, that's all 11 because, again, we tacked on that extra one for tomorrow. Any bets that maybe you've locked in and want to give out? I do want to give out Fulham-Chelsea. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 tomorrow at +116. Best price over at FanDuel. I do want to give out Villa and Leeds. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 at +120. Best price over on Bet Rivers. I want to give out that Brighton double chance. -127. Best price over on Bet Rivers. Forest and Leicester. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 +138. Best price over on Bet Rivers. And Bet Rivers has the best price for over 2.5 in the North London Derby. I'll take it at -122.
Yeah, I got 2 bets: Liverpool and Brighton over 3 goals at -107 at Bet Rivers. And then I'm going to line chop. I'm going to take Villa on the money line to beat Leeds. I think they beat Leeds.
Okay. I agree. I'm just curious what that price is. I agree.
I think that if I can find like I bet I can probably find like a -107, -105, something like that on Villa. That's where I'll go on those two, and if they both win, maybe I'll roll it on over to Brentford.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I want to get in. I'll have to tweet that or give that one out tomorrow on my morning YouTube show. I'm getting on Brentford. It's just do I settle on the team total or the over? Man, I thought I was just gonna get a third goal. Matt, I had PSG's team total over 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
They found the back of the net for the third, but Neymar was offsides. I just can't win a bet right now. Wow, when it's running against you, it's running against you. All right, Matt. But more importantly, here in the Premier League, we're going to be back every single week. God damn, was it fun getting in here with you and talking the games. I haven't looked at now VAR's kicking in. Maybe that linesman was wrong and VAR is going to do me a solid. No, it just said offside for VAR. Gosh, damn it, I can't get help. Wow, City's actually going to go down here to Southampton. I don't know when the games are, but we'll stick to a midweek. I actually think they finally don't have midweek action, and like everybody kind of gets midweek off. So we'll come back Wednesday at 4:00. Does that work?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me on. Always fun.
All right, guys, lock in those bets. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Premier League show. We'll see you back here next week and enjoy the weekend games. See you, Matt.
See you, Jason.